Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to Metroid Fusion. I'm Boxmeister. On my right side is Dragonfangs. On my left side is Xonerus.
Hello.
I say let's head into the game as soon as we can. So, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
So,
Hype.
Metroid Fusion. Yeah, very linear Metroid, I might add. Lots of text, so that's already a big difference compared to Super Metroid and Metroid Zero Mission. We'll just get out of the text and get into one of the more difficult tricks of the game.
It is actually, the first room is surprisingly difficult.
Let's hope I can get that.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Nice, good job.
Flawless.
That's pretty hard. So we're off to a pretty good start already.
Yeah, it's deceptively difficult to land all those jumps, because if you're too high or too low, then you bonk into some platforms and then you have to take another route.
It is just like the most optimal way to go through it, but there are like other slightly slower ways.
Yeah, exactly. It saves a second over a slightly slower way. From what I know from experience, because I've failed that a lot. One of the bigger reset points right at the start.
There are a lot of things during the start that are reset points. There are a lot of RNG starting out as well. It's just a gauntlet right at the beginning.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the movement first. You'll see me running on the ground a lot, because that's most of the time the fastest way to move. Wall jumping in this game isn't as useful as it is in Super Metroid or in Zero Mission, where you can use it to gain heights, because you get boosted away from the wall. Nevertheless, your in-air movement is slightly faster when you wall jump. It gets a 50% increase or something. So we use it to boost ourselves a little bit across the room if you have to jump anyway. Enemies were nice. That enemy can be on the very right of the platform, and then you can jump, and then you jump into it, take damage. It's really annoying. So yeah, a lot of text. We got sent on this mission to the spaceship, space station, biological laboratory. We were infected by parasites before this, so we lost all of our suit upgrades. And our suit got different. It's this blue suit instead of this yellow/orange-like suit. It's usually.
Are we all collectively agreeing that Fusion suit is best suit?
No?
Not exactly.
It's not bad. I mean, as long as you're not talking the Varia version.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
yeah.
let's
fine.
not go there.
I'm talking about like the default suit and
The
the
original
gravity
blue
suit.
suits. Yeah,
I like the gravity suit of the Fusion, the Fusion version of the gravity suit.
yeah, gravity
so.
suit is fine too. It's just
So
the Varia suit is a problem.
missiles, our very first upgrade. We get 10 of them out of the blue. Most Metroid games you get the Morph Ball first, but this game you actually get the missiles first.
Yeah, and so this game is very linear in that you get your upgrades in a very set order. There's no real sequence breaking in the game.
That also means that you get all of the major upgrades, like the beam upgrades, the missile upgrades, and whatnot.
Yeah, so there's no routing involved in which major upgrades to grab. There is some routing involved in how many expansions you want. We're not gonna pick up that many, since most bosses die really fast anyway, and charge beam is just way better than missiles for a lot of the game.
Yes. Also, because you have to collect all of the major upgrades, they also don't count towards the item percentage, and all 100 items you can collect in this game are expansion packs like energy tanks, missile tanks, power bomb tanks. I'm notoriously bad at this, so nope.
So there's a way to hit this door with 2 missiles on this. It's not quite the same, but at the same time.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I'm bad at this. I've gotten it once or twice during practice. I'm not good at
It's
the
difficult.
doubles.
It does skip a cycle on the door though, so it's really useful.
Luckily the RNG world wasn't too bad with beams, because that's also RNG.
Yeah, so this is like the first boss of the game. Turns out he's pretty easy. You just shoot him a bunch of times. Like, yeah, this is like the more technical things. You probably didn't even notice what happened right there. So there's this technique in this game called like the double missile, where you essentially try to hit the enemy with like 2 missiles at the same time. Normally, when you hit like the core at the end there, with a missile, he gets like he has like invincibility frames for a few like seconds or so. And if you like time your jumps correctly, like if you shoot a missile, you jump up and mid-air you shoot the missile again. Like 2 missiles are like on top of each other, and they can hit the enemy at the same time, and so because of that do double damage.
Yeah, luckily the hitboxes of those things are square, so you can actually have them in a row, and then the hitbox of the enemy flies in and hits both of the missiles at the same time.
Yeah, you kind of want to create like a wall of missiles that the enemies run into.
Exactly that.
Yeah, when at the start of the game, when you try to learn this, it's a bit difficult to get like the correct like timing down for these double missiles, but once you have it, you can get it pretty consistently.
The annoying thing is that for every missile upgrade we get later, where the missiles become more powerful, it also changes both the missile speed and the time you have to wait before firing the next missile. So the timing for doubles keep changing throughout the game, and it's really annoying.
It's a bit of an unfortunate thing. The missiles are the things we
Spooky.
Ooh, yeah, this is also a cutscene that gives many kids nightmares, I think.
I can't see chat, but can we get a Monk Eyes in chat?
Oh. Spooky. Also, you can open that door, and she will still shoot it with a missile.
Yeah, she just really doesn't like doors.
Yeah, even open doors. Like,
it's not open enough.
It's not open enough. Yeah.
What's funny, it's like specifically only that door.
Yeah,
she completely demolishes that door. Every other door, like, it goes like through kind of normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's only that door that actually gets broken by the SAX.
Maybe she hasn't learned how to use the beam yet. Like that's the X just recently getting control of Samus's suit, right? So she can only shoot missiles.
It would be logical if our missiles could do the same thing to doors.
Yeah. That's true.
When I played this as a kid, I was like so envy. I was like, why can't I destroy things like that? That'd be so cool.
We'll all dream. So this space station will have 6 habitats sectors. And the first one is like the planet SR388, which this space station is in orbit of. It's the home planet of the Metroids, actually, up until they got
eradicated.
Yeah.
in
Metroid
Metroid 2.
Oh, you were slightly too early.
Slightly too early, unfortunately.
Yeah, so the goal of this sector right here is to... There's like 5 of these like air conditioner things, and like the evil X parasite infected all 5 of them for like reproduction purposes or something. And we kind of have to be like the janitor and clean the 5 air conditions a bit.
Yes, okay.
And he's morphing in there to slow down a bit to let the missiles actually hit the pirates.
Yeah, this sector is really ammo intensive. I was struggling with that edge. Oh. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, so you're actually really short on missiles through this part. Since we don't have charge beam yet, we actually want to use missiles on pretty much everything.
I should be fine missile-wise from here on.
This is probably okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing why I pick up an extra missile tank myself, because I tend to get unlucky with in that space pirate room where you drop down with getting hit and not getting any missile refills. And that can be annoying, because this game has a really cool system where if you're full on health, then you only get the green missile refill drops.
Yeah.
But keeping on full health can be a bit tricky in this sector.
Yeah, if you get unlucky, you can lose health really quickly.
So this is the second and last chance to get a double on the idols, but this one is hard. Let's see.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Okay. One beam. Two
Are we gonna
beams,
get 3 beams? Quote me.
4 beams. Ooh.
4 beams, please. 3
I
beams.
see. So every door in the entire there's a eye door like that before every boss, and every time they open, they can shoot a beam or open, and they can shoot up to 4
That's
beams
double.
before they're required to be an eye.
Nope. That
You
was
got the
not-
first one, right?
Yeah, I got the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely got the
Oh,
first
that was
one.
pretty good.
Yeah. So you got 1 double on that core. That usually takes 4 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you just saw there was like a little bit different from the first core we saw. They're like the quote-unquote normal cores and like the beam cores. The beam cores, you can like identify them by they have like spikes around them, and you can't just shoot missiles at them randomly. After a set period of time, they like open their eye, and then you can shoot in there. And there's also like a specific setup, so you can like squeeze 2 missiles in there right at the same time.
What you saw me do in that room just now was do a damage boost to clip my charge beam into the enemy. That saves me from having to walk all around in that room.
Yeah. So charge beam actually does more damage right at the arm cannon. It has like a small hitbox right when it shoots that does a bit of damage.
Also, the charge beam consists consists of 3 parts, and that's also why you can break multiple blocks with a single shot.
Yeah.
And that's all. The acquisition is cleared.
Yeah, for a pretty majority of this speedrun right now, we'll be using the charge beam as like the main source of damage, because compared to our normal missiles right now, it does like, what, triple damage or something?
It does, if you don't hit the point blank extra hitbox, it does twice the damage of a missile.
Yes.
So it's 2 parts, and each part is a full missile worth of damage.
You also may see me notice that when I jump and about to land on the platform, I shoot. This is because that puts me down an extra pixel, so I land slightly earlier.
Yeah.
It cuts short the jump. It's an optimization, really.
Yeah,
and
it's like essentially arm pumping from Super Metroid, and like
yeah, kinda.
you don't need to do it, but whenever you do it, you save like a few frames.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to go for it.
Well, you can lose time if you mistime it, so
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
You can also use it if you use it before the highest point of your jump. You also cut your jump short with it. That's also a thing. Lots of elevator thoughts. We encountered that a few times. So we get sent to the next sector, which is a jungle sector, but it's also, especially for beginners, a very dangerous sector. The enemies deal about half an E-tank of damage, and I have a total of 2 E-tanks. One I picked up and one I got from the start on.
Yeah, it's just really scary. And like optimal speedruns wouldn't even have an energy tank here. Optimal 90%. A Boxmeister is grabbing a couple of extra E-tanks for marathon safety.
Yeah, it can go down south really fast.
Yeah, so the problem is if you normally saving takes a pretty long time, and generally you don't save in a Metroid Fusion speedrun. But the problem with that is if you die, you respawn the last time you saved, and since we don't save, we're like back at the very start of the game again.
Yeah, it's I will save at the halfway point at the ship, basically. And I have a I have no further save to save. So hopefully everything goes right.
Yeah, but
skipping that enemy feels good.
not saving at all sounds a bit. It sounds more dangerous than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like in 100%, for example, there's like no real place you can actually die, and in any percent there are just a few. And if you know what you're doing, you should be fine.
Yeah, well, we have strats for bosses that makes them more or less consistent.
What's the dangerous part about the sector is you saw those red worms. They take a fully charged charge beam shot or 2 missiles to go down, and getting the 2 missiles in properly is timing-wise can be a bit difficult, depending on if they're approaching you, like there.
Yeah, if they move towards you, it's really hard to get the both missiles.
Luckily, I immediately got a few health drops, so the damage is mitigated.
Yeah, timing on that one is pretty tight.
But the most dangerous part mostly has passed for this sector.
Yeah.
So, the data room, another data room, we're getting the bombs. Bombs in this game are not as useful as they are in Super Metroid and Metroid Zero Mission because their timing is way too slow to use it to gain height.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you can only do like 1 or 2 bomb jumps, but you can't chain them infinitely, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can technically chain them infinitely, but it's like they give such a small health. Like you need to do like pause buffer shenanigans. That like it's really strange. For practical reasons, there's no good way to.
I believe the task can do it by jump extending, right?
The task can do it with wall jumps. The task can also do it by just pausing a bunch. It is very, very slow, but it's technically possible.
Yeah, the task of this game does some really incredible things that a human can't do. It looks really crazy.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about a certain task thread a bit later in Sector 3, I believe.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Didn't get the spin jump off. So yeah, right now we're making our way towards the end of the sector, but usually how Metroid games usually work, it gives you an obstacle and then an upgrade to actually clear that obstacle. So you get a lot of playtime with your new upgrades, usually. This is also another one for safety, but it's really fast to pick this one up.
I think in real any percent attempts you'd normally skip this one, right?
Yeah, this is the one that's usually skipped. The one near Arachnus is mostly picked up since it's in your way. There are multiple variations on what E-tanks to pick up and which ones to skip.
Yeah, this here is our next boss. He's kind of annoying. He can lose you a lot of time. So he just jumps around, and at the specific time he does this right here, and then you just shoot him. But the problem with this is the amount of time he jumps from left to right and right to left is kind of random. You can get anywhere between like 3 and 12 jumps, I think, right?
Somewhere there. I think it's 12 or 13.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, if you...
I was slightly off.
You were slightly off center and didn't get the entire charge beam.
Yeah, and then at the end there's the X-Core again, where there's the same strategy again as we discussed earlier. You like...
Just for the memes.
Yeah, you manipulate his movement a bit, so it kind of comes right above you. You shoot a missile, you jump up, and you shoot another missile, and you hope that both missiles hit at the same time.
Yes. Well, hope or just no.
Well, sometimes, it's a bit timing specific. If you're like new to it, you probably won't get it every time.
It's a thing you can't properly explain. It's something you actually have to experience yourself when you learn.
Yeah,
it's not something I can teach you by saying, oh, you have to do it like this. You have to kind of get a feeling for it. Well, the SCX encounter, you can do some really fancy strats to skip this one, but that's really dangerous.
It's incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
If you do it like wrong even a tiny bit, you just die.
Yeah.
It's not marathon safe even a tiny bit.
100% can actually go through the encounter, since they have since at 100% you have 4 E-tanks by this point.
Yeah, so you have enough health to take a hit, which makes that a lot
I can actually
easier.
tell you there's like 3 different outcomes when you do it in 100%. Either you get away with like 2 energy tanks, 0, or like 1 HP. The 1 HP is always kind of nice. And that's about it. Sector 2 is kind of done. We got... Oh yeah, by the way, we got high jump. Did anybody explain that?
Yeah, we got high jump, which also gives us spring ball at the same time, or ball jumping.
Yes.
Yeah, high jump is basically just you can jump a bit higher. Maybe you noticed that, maybe not. It's not that big of a deal. It's helpful in the speedrun, but like it's hard to see sometimes.
Yeah, the Sector 2 escape is fun in and of itself because you have these cocoon-like enemies, and if you jump into the side of them, you get put on top of them.
So it just automatically forces you to land.
It's really cool.
They're really fun to platform on.
Yeah, it's really cool, that escape with all the jumps and the shot cancels and the cocoon enemies. It's really fun sector to platform.
Yeah.
And this next sector is also a really cool platform intensive sector.
Yeah, by the way, we're going from Sector 1 to Sector 2 to Sector 4 because...
Well, Sector 3 is
Because
heated.
nice.
It's lore reasons. I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I read the text.
Well, for Sector 3, well, there's a disturbance in Sector 4. That's why you get sent here first.
Oh, right, yeah.
And let's see. Well, Sector 4 has some really interesting tech we're using.
Yeah, but the developers could have just named this Sector 3 and so we would at least go like in a row.
Yeah, but the way the sectors are ordered in the elevator hub is also a thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Also, the sector is the only one that has the entrance towards the left.
Oh, yeah.
It's also
Small fun fact.
really fun when you're not paying attention to that specific part.
Oh yeah, cool little tech you just saw right there is like the pseudo screw attack. So if you never played a Metroid game, there's like this ability called the screw attack,
I missed that.
where you like do damage while doing like a spin jump. And you can do like a light version of that by just charging up your like the charge beam and then jump. And depending on how much HP the enemy has, you either just kill it or like you do damage and take damage yourself if it doesn't insta kill the enemy. But it's still a nice tech, useful at some places.
What you also saw me do some rooms earlier, you saw me fire a charge beam shot while spin jumping. What I did there, I selected the missiles, and if you have a charge beam fully charged, it fires the shots but doesn't change your movement state. And that's used a couple of times throughout the run to progress through rooms a little faster, because you can either kill enemies in your way or open doors while you don't want your movement state to change.
So it doesn't break you out of spin jump, it doesn't stop you when you're like climbing rungs and...
Yeah, exactly. Good RNG.
Oh hey, a red door. What could that mean?
Okay, a little bit of focus here.
This boss is also kind of an RNG problem. The first shot is guaranteed to be in the same place every time.
That should be.
But he wants to get a second shot at a very point blank range to
That's
to
random.
kill it in 2 hits.
Okay.
This should be good.
Yeah, I should be good here.
Nice.
Those are
Well,
always
it's
my favorite patterns.
a bit close, but you got it.
I was off there. Whoops. Okay, let's
So,
set this up a bit.
Without
differently.
charge beam, that fight takes like, you need to hit it 5 times with missiles. So just getting
That's fine.
2 shots with charge beam speeds it up a lot.
Didn't.
Yeah, so what you're essentially trying to do in this fight is to hit the head, because that's his only vulnerable spot, with a fully charged charge beam like right up front. So you also get like the damage from like direct contact, like the little flare thing in front of the beam. And with that, it only takes 2 hits for him to die. Well, it's kind of specific, like it's pretty tight, and you can like buffer it a bit, but you know, buffering is like slow, and some people just go YOLO it.
I'm the one of the YOLO guys. Definitely.
Yeah, me too.
And like if he does certain attacks, like just jumping in an arc, it's really hard to get a clean shot. And you kind of just have to wait until he does one of the attacks where you can hit him properly.
Yeah, when he comes out of the water, he always does the same thing, but after that, he kind of gets a little bit random, and you just kind of have to know the patterns, which I don't do, by the way.
You're not gonna have enough time to spark, I think.
Nah, I don't think so. But I could try.
Try.
No, definitely not enough. Okay. Okay, that's
you
an
can just
extra
grab the-
missile tank.
Well, at least you get some free missiles.
Yeah, that's safe. That's actually, well, it loses me time, but it also saves me some time later.
Yeah, you can just skip a missile tank later on, right?
Yeah.
Usually you're supposed to shine spark out to the right again.
Oh,
Nice.
sick! That's like a really hard thing to do.
That was kind of
You
close.
can clap for that, by the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your fights are kind.
So what we just got is the shine, like what's it called? Not the shine spark.
Low
the,
height shine
Low
spark.
height shine spark.
no, the ability, speed boost, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And what speed boost does is if you run for a certain period of time, you just get faster. And in every other Metroid game, you can charge like the built-up energy you get by just like stopping to run by just
By
pressing
crouching.
down,
Yeah.
or by crouching, and then you can use this energy to like do a shine spark to somewhere. And what he just did there is he like fell down, and at like the very last pixel before he reached the bottom, he activated it, and so he got through the entire thing without bonking into something.
Otherwise, you have to start a speed boost from the left again.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if you just stand on the ground and do a shine spark, she kind of like jumps up a tiny bit before
Yeah,
doing it,
exactly.
and that just makes you run into a block that's higher up.
Yeah, if he would have started from the ground, he would bonked into something. So
So you
it's
want to
like-
be mid-air, but just slightly above the ground.
it's kind of a
tight.
pixel perfect thing, kind of.
No, it's not that tight. It's pretty tight.
I
but
mean,
there
yeah,
are
it's tight.
I
a
thought
couple of pixels window.
I thought for a second that I was slightly too high, but I apparently was right inside.
Yeah,
the
you were
pixel
pretty close.
range. Because I really thought I was gonna bonk there.
Well, anyways, now we're in sector
3.
3.
The heated sector.
Yeah, the heated sector where things get hot, kind of.
It will get way more hot later on in the
Yeah.
run.
So we're here to pick up our next upgrade, which is a cool thing, and we will see it just in a bit.
So let's see. No.
Oh.
Another kind of specific thing you can do right here. It just saves a little bit of time, but it's like not mandatory to get it.
Oh,
But
this
you can
should
just
work.
do
Oh,
this
that'll
instead.
Still works.
So yeah, if you run off an edge with Speed Booster, you keep Speed Booster going until you land. And when you land, you can... This is frame perfect. So if the frame you land press down, you can store a Shine Spark. If you press it too early, you just stop Speed Boosting. If you press it too late, you land before. So I would have let him spark from way from the right. Now he had to build a new Speed Booster. But it only saves like a second or something. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but what we just did there is there's these like security gates in this game. There's like the hatches, as you can see, like the gray one. There's a blue, red, green, and
nice.
yellow. And unlike the other Metroid games, they're not like they're like not representative of what kind of weapon you need to like open them. It's more of like a security thing where you just need
Say
to
hi to
unlock
Bob.
them.
Hi, Bob.
And yeah, we just unlocked security 2, so we can go through the green doors now.
That missile tank is sort of unskippable.
Until it's not.
It used to be unskippable for a long time. It used to be the 1% in 1% runs.
Well, you can skip it, but you need to do a Shine Spark with 7 frames of error. or
7 frames of
something.
error, yeah. So you have to do like 5 or 6 jumps with like a 7 frame margin of error. It's super tight. People
Isn't there an
eventually
easier
started.
way?
Huh?
No.
There's a new way found later where like glitch through the blocks. and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's...
So 0% runs do happen now. It's still very rare for people to do that. You didn't go. Oh, you did go far enough. Okay.
coming up is like the only boss that
Close.
doesn't die.
I forget because
Say-
if you, I'm sorry, but you have to go left there to trigger the boss fight. But
Yeah,
you're
this
supposed to
is
go left
looking
to
good.
trigger a cutscene where the screen starts shaking.
Oof.
There are 2 boxes, but there can only be 1 Meister. Let's go.
Easy clap. Yeah, like I said, this is the only boss who like doesn't die when you fight him. He just escapes because he's like scared of us. But we'll meet him later again, and then we kill him.
At the end of this fight, I wanted to have a minimum of 3 missiles, because I need them in the next sector to get past something. But I had 13, so plenty.
You're fine.
Plenty. Otherwise, I will either have to pick up a mist tank slightly early, or could do a Shine Spark to achieve the same results. But I don't have to worry about that, so that's good. I'm also good on health, so that's also important for the next sector.
Keep in mind that you have an extra missile tank. I'm not sure which one you are gonna opt out of later. Is it the one in Sector 6
Right.
maybe?
I could opt out of that.
Or the one past the elevator on main deck?
Oh, so many choices.
Yeah.
Both of them are relatively quick to pick up.
You might as well pick up an extra to have extra missile tanks.
I mean, 50 missiles is really nice to have.
Yeah.
And there even exists a former world record in Fusion that actually had 50 missiles.
Yeah, I used to grab 50 missiles back when I ran this game, which was a while ago, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, getting missile tanks is slightly slow, but it saves you time on a certain boss, so you have multiple runners pick different amount of missiles. You can go with a minimum of 35 and go up to 50 or something.
Yeah. I think some people even
early.
went 55, but that was rare.
55 is not. You don't need 55 to.
Yeah, no.
From that point on, it's actually slow.
Well, yeah, but I think some people grabbed it for safety, but that was like maybe slower runners. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
The only thing I want to add to that, just don't play this category, play 100%. Because that's Master Race category.
100% is a bit of. It's the thing with 100% is it's mostly the same as any percent, but there's an extra part added at the end, basically.
We just collect everything. Yeah.
It's my favorite category, so.
There are some things in 100% that are really annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
Crumble City. Ugh.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's not talk about Crumble City.
Or the
Giving
whole
me
sector,
nightmares.
or the whole Sector 6 crumble block shenanigans.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not too bad because there's just some like slow backup strats, which makes Sector 6 not as bad.
It's you kind of have to get some frame good jump or landing on top of that. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So we might mention how these blue X work. They're specifically X that have gone to the Arctic sector and frozen themselves down in order to.
No.
Oh
Whoops.
Diagonal.
wow! In order to damage Samus, who now has Metroid DNA,
Nah, didn't mention cat bomb.
and so she is weak to cold, and so they're trying to damage her. And they do a lot of damage. They do like 80 damage if they get you. Hurts a
If
lot.
you're not careful enough, you can actually die here.
Yeah, that's why I was glad that I had a lot of health coming out of Sector 3.
Yeah.
Ah, I was off.
What's this pattern, dude? Come on. Run's dead.
Yeah, I'm a disgrace, I know.
Over.
Reset. Yeah, our good old friend, our pal here. Yeah, we kind of annoy him a bit by shooting him. And this triggers like this chase scene, but turns out this is just faster than like waiting for him to just...
Depending on the timing of how you shoot the SCX, she either fires a shot first or immediately jumps at you.
And again, the S6 is still scary. She still kind of almost one-shots you.
I've had it happen that I mistimed the shot in runs and actually she jumped right into her there.
Yeah.
And that's an insta-kill. That's not fun.
Yeah, but that scream in general is pretty easy. You just have to wait like a tiny second before you shoot her and like...
Yeah, she just
It's
jumps
not
over
really
you and
hard.
just run away.
Talking about this boss right here, like the big X core.
Nice.
that's good.
Perfect.
And yeah, that's already
Not a
it.
double.
So
So that's another fight where you really want to get the
That's a double.
full damage from the charge beam. So you take a damage boost so you can be inside of the hitbox every time you shoot a beam.
My input got eaten there, but this is fine.
And that boss tends to run away from you really fast. If like
Yeah.
as soon as you lose control, that fight goes really bad fast.
I think the most difficult part of that fight is actually the Core X fight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the ugliest suit in the history
yes.
of Metroid games.
This,
Like
Yeah.
this suit was a mistake.
the Varia suit. I'm not sure who thought like pink and like gift green
It's-
is like a good color combination.
It's purple and
Yeah,
barf
purple.
green or something.
But yeah, so now that we have Varia and we have heat protection, also gives us cold protection, so we can now grab the Frozen X and get help from them.
Those buffer enemies are annoying. It's RNG in which direction they move, and they have 4 possible directions. And if you shoot them or damage them, their hitbox expands, and you get damage. It's they're a pain. They usually tend to get in the way.
And they're just always in the way, no matter what you do. Like look
Yeah.
at this guy.
Okay,
They're
that was
terrible.
relatively fine. But they can really get in your way there, and you have to wait it out or do some other obnoxious stuff.
Well, I think it gets my vote for worst enemy in this game.
Okay. That one was definitely in the way.
Ooh! Oh,
Nice shot, but
That was pretty good.
but not the ledge grab. That's almost as good as it gets.
Yeah, now that we have the Varia suit, we're like our problem with heat and cold is kind of gone, and we can go to Sector 5, which is like the icy sector, and do some stuff there without getting damaged.
Yeah, the reason we got troubles with the cold is because the X-parasite, we got cured by our X-parasite infection through a Metroid vaccine, so we're part Metroid now, and Metroids are weak to cold. Actually, our suit is kind of modeled after Metroid. The 3 things she has on her back to download stuff, they actually look like the eyes of a Metroid.
yeah.
Or the nuclei,
Oh, really?
the thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never noticed that, to be honest.
It's really cool if you see the game artwork, actually.
That's good to know. Today I learned.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm kind of a sucker for game lore.
Oh, and be really thankful for this blinking light in the main deck, because I would be lost here so many times
I
if
know
that wasn't there.
Yeah, I know exactly what
You
mean.
just go on autopilot through these elevators, and sometimes you just forget what
Oh,
part of the
dude,
game you're in.
don't talk about it. I think I lost runs because of that, because I went to the wrong sector just by autopiloting.
You just go to the wrong elevator.
Yeah,
Oh my
and we're actually in the best sector for having worst impact on autopilot.
Oh yeah. So you go through the sector like 3 times.
Yeah.
And you do take a slightly different route every time. And again, it's not a particularly hard sector, so it's easy to just kind of zone out and go on muscle memory, and just go a route that happens later in the game, and just forget to grab an item or whatever.
I actually had that during one of my practice runs.
Yeah, it's terrible. It happens a lot more often than it should.
Yes.
It's so painful when it happens, when you get back to that room again and the alarm is going off.
Yeah, it's happened to every Fusion runner at least once, that they just like forgot to do the second half of the first visit to Sector 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, just zoning out in this game is a problem in general, because you have like these few intersections with like the elevators and the talking, and because it's really boring, your brain kind of starts to zap out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't get into like thinking mode soon enough, and you do something really
you
dumb.
just let muscle memory take over.
there you go. The patterns were really nice.
Yes.
If you start a little bit further to the right, you can also get it, but the enemy might hide behind the blue X, so it actually blocks you. And then you lose your speed boost and have to reset up that again. That's annoying if that happens.
Yeah, there's not too much special going on Sector 5. You're just
Hey,
trying
Box,
to
reverse
unlock-
ice.
No, I'm not gonna do reverse
Oh,
ice.
come on, dude.
That involves the same speed booster trick we were talking about, where you run off an edge and can have 1 frame to store it.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
So there's a route you can do where you run back to the right there and like shine spark up to the right shaft.
It's actually
it's insanely hard and save like half a second maybe.
It's usually slower.
It's a meme route.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
I'm not doing it.
I mean, like in general, to everybody, don't do it.
Go right, go right, go right, go right, go right.
Yeah.
Yes, we remember.
Oh,
300 IQ plays.
yeah. This it can, and the worst part is on the next sector visits. I also have to keep in mind of my routing.
Yeah, I have gone through, like, done the first visit again the second time I go to Sector 5, and halfway through, like, oh no, wait, it's just already open.
Terrible, terrible when it happens.
Yeah, now we got the ice missiles, which allows us to freeze enemies. Because of story reasons, we're not allowed to get the ice beam. So this is like our compensation. And frozen enemies, you can stand on them without taking damage, which is kind of nice.
Well, ice missiles make my life a little bit harder on the exit, because I no longer insta-kill enemies with the missiles.
Yeah, that's true as well.
The missile upgrades are a mixed bag, really.
Yeah, ice missiles would be kind of pointless if enemies would still die instantly if you hit them.
Yeah, so there are definitely enemies that do die in one super missile, but they don't die in one ice missile.
I like getting that jump around that block.
Like these enemies are really annoying when you have ice.
Yeah, that's why I used the edge there to get a charge shot off, and then you have barely enough time to get another charge shot.
Yeah.
So...
Whoa, what's going on here? What the heck?
I want to hear some emergency in Franker-Z's in the chat.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Because things are getting heated right
It's
now.
good. It's an emergency.
The text also scrolls a lot faster in this specific navigation room.
Oh, it does? Cool.
Yeah, it's actually faster.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, I guess it's because Adam's really stressed out about the reactor exploding.
The text in that navigation room goes by so quickly.
Interesting.
It actually added to the sense of emergency. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of emergencies and Franker-Z's in chat.
Good job, chat. You're amazing.
Good job, guys.
Yay.
I'm really glad that this meme is just that it got picked up by like people who, like, whenever there's a Metroid Fusion run somewhere, people just do this out of habit. They just know it,
You
which
have
is so
to.
nice.
I have also had it happen many times that I stopped on that navigation.
Oh yeah, the very few navigation rooms where you don't have to stop and you stop anyway because that's what you do in navigation rooms.
Autopilots.
Yeah, autopilot is very strong.
Also, I have a ton of missiles. What the hell?
Oh yeah, Jesus.
I have way too many missiles. So we're
You're supposed to have like 17 here.
Yeah, I have 30. I had 33 just now. That's insane.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Well, I mean, I definitely have enough missiles. That's one thing that's for certain. So yeah, this section is really a get from A to B as quickly as you can.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, turns out ice
you
missiles
got
are kind of
hit.
useful.
You got hit there. That was weird.
Yeah, that always happens to me for some reason.
Really? Wow, I've never seen that.
I don't know. It's maybe...
Whoa, that was close.
I was afraid I was gonna shoot out one of the blocks.
Yeah, those blocks are breakable, and shooting them out is bad.
Yeah, because you have to let it stretch, and then you can make it with the ball jump.
Oh no.
Dang it.
A slight inconvenience. So you can freeze that enemy mid-jump so that you can jump up through the hole in the floor here.
Well, luckily the
Box
back
accidentally killed it.
IDOR isn't cooperating.
Thankfully, this timer is super generous.
Yeah, we finish it under 2 minutes. This escape sequence, you got a royal 6 minutes for it.
Yeah, this is another one of these beam cores I was talking about earlier. You can only hit it when it like opens his eye.
Oh, you got one. Oh, nice.
Oh, that was really good. Nice.
So you got one double, and you got the sweet spot. If you kill the enemy right on top where like the power up spawns, it just spawns immediately.
That pickup was really sweet.
That was a super fast pickup.
Yeah, now we have the wide beam, which is this lovely beam, which looks a little bit weird, but it's kind of useful. Does a lot of more damage, and it's like widespread.
Yeah, it triples your damage actually, I think.
It's a trip. I don't remember damage values anymore, but,
But it does a ton of damage.
It does a ton of damage. It's also a bit harder to get the entire beam to hit because it's so big now.
Of course I get the ledge grab and the enemy damage, typically. But at the very least we're on a good schedule, from the looks of it.
Yeah.
No damage boost.
One might say we're looking pretty hot right now.
Nah,
Dang, dude.
it has cooled down a bit since we fixed the reactor.
Yeah, since we saved the space station from like collapsing in itself, we're just
I
leaving
missed
and see what our new objective is going to be.
That climb is a cool thing to do with the ice missiles. Haha, another pun.
Nice.
Yet another pun. This game gives a lot of room for puns. Oh, not a lot of room for error though. Or at least I don't want too many mistakes. So yeah, we fixed the reactor. So now we get sent on to our next task, which is to check what's going on the observation. What's it called? Observation deck.
Yes,
Animals, right?
observation deck.
Yeah.
And at this time, you're wondering, like, at the first time when you're playing this, what? There's an observation deck? I can go back to like the main part up here. What?
Yeah, after the SAX blew up the door, the main elevator was down for a time, but it got fixed somewhere in between. We don't know where or when.
I mean, Adam just probably decided that we can go back up here again.
We got authorized to.
Yeah, he just does that sometimes. Just kind of.
minor shout outs to Other M for trying.
It sure tried.
It at least tried. Yeah, this part is nice since we now have speed booster. No wall is gonna stop me. Am I right?
Yeah.
And high jump is really nice in this segment as well. It's so cool. Oh,
Well, unless you don't make the jump, then it's not as nice.
I do the wall jump to compensate. Oh, speaking of wall jumps, I can do it. I'm gonna try a trick.
You're trying impossible?
Oh.
No, not the full impossible,
Oh, okay,
but
half.
at the very least the halfway thing.
Halfway impossible.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
nice!
yeah. So that's a jump extend where if you shoot your beam while spinning, you kind of reset all of your momentum, and that's since you accelerate faster horizontally than vertically, you kind of get some more distance there.
Another shine break.
It is a pretty cool trick right here. So you're storing one of the shine sparks while you are running over one of
One
these
was
crumble
running-
blocks.
Oh, there's one of them is being bad.
Yeah, one was running past. I've had it happen during a marathon run somewhere else where they instantly got out.
Yeah, there's a lot of RNG in how fast the animals get out the door.
Then there's no manipulation for it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a tool assist speedrun, then you can manipulate it probably.
Yeah.
And now Various Suit's close up.
Juicy.
Yikes!
Not a great sight. It's gonna change soonish.
Soonish. Thank God.
Soonish. Oh yeah, okay.
Kinda
guess.
soonish.
Still like a good 10 minutes or so.
We're optimistic.
Yeah, okay.
So, navigation room. Now we get sent back to Sector 5 to download some more stuff. We gotta download our firmware upgrades, right?
Yep.
You just need to download your weapons. It's not that hard. It's like downloading more RAM into your computer.
You wouldn't download a car.
I'm gonna download some power bombs though.
Yeah, we actually do. You can get a power bump expansion early.
Yeah.
Without picking up the main upgrades, so you can't use it exactly, but you can do a spark to pick one up earlier, but it's a really out of the way
Yeah,
thing.
there are like a couple, there's like 3 different tanks you can pick up early. Most of them are really hard. One of them is kind of doable, but picking up an expansion early doesn't unlock power bombs. You have more power bombs when you finally unlock them.
Yeah, it's slower.
Yeah.
It's definitely slower.
Yeah, we were talking about sequence breaks a bit earlier in this game. I mean, technically there are some sequence breaks, but this game is like really programmed in a way that sequence breaks don't really do anything. Because this game is programmed in kind of a event flag thing, so if you don't do event X, the next event is not even like activated yet, and even if you get there, just nothing happens. So the game kind of forces you to do everything in order.
Yeah, the memory corruption is actually a way to break that system.
The spark is
It's
Good.
recently
Nice.
found. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's one of the 2 times we attempt that spark. And the second time it's way more impressive. So hopefully I get that one as well.
It's much more important to get it the second time.
I at least went the right way, so that's good.
Good job. You didn't fall for the Sector
And
5
that's-
Mirage.
Yeah, and the third time it's really easy because the sector has changed considerably.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So this is the only time that you can really still mix up Sector 5 stuff. So...
So, what did we just get?
Whoosh. Whoosh.
Not wrong.
Who needs X-ray scope when you have power bombs, right?
When you have like 70 power.
Well, we're only gonna stick with these 10.
Yeah, so
For
like
some reason, there's dramatic music in this room. I don't get it, really.
It sounds a bit like a circus.
Yeah, so like we mentioned earlier, major upgrades in this game don't count towards your percentage, but it still has like 100 separate items. So each item, each expansion counts as a percentage. And to fill out just the amount of items you need to grab, there are a lot of power bomb tanks in this game. And you get up to a ridiculous number of power bombs in 100%.
Yeah, there's way too many power bombs in this game, like... way too many.
And 100% runners kind of make it a thing to try to run out of power bombs, but at the end it's really hard.
Yes, it's actually true. By the way, don't worry about the thing in the background. You might have seen it.
Killed the enemy, but still got damaged.
Not a big deal.
Oh, cool. Dodge the enemies. If you jump slightly too early down there, you actually get hit. So you actually have to delay your jump a little bit to get the right timing.
Yeah.
And this is a really short navigation room. Actually, just a single line of text.
I think in English is Samus, return to your ship. Done.
Even there, it's a single line of
It's
text.
just one line, yeah.
So you may have noticed the Japanese language appearing on my screen every now and then. The reason I and a good bunch of runners run on Japanese is because for real time it saves about 3 minutes worth of 3 minutes worth of text scrolling and faster text. So yeah, it's really nice. We go by in-game time, so for in-game time it doesn't make a difference, except that the English version actually has some additional glitches you could opt to use. Got the nice pattern.
Nice. That room is kind of random too. The spitters up in the ceiling can choose to drool on you like kind of randomly, and there's no real way to react to that, so you just kind of have to run and hope that you don't get hit.
Yeah.
If you do get hit, it's not the end of the world. You just
Don't
have
forget
to
to
take
save.
Yeah.
Saving here actually loses like a second maybe, but it's by far the fastest save in the game, since you have to go into the ship anyway.
In tournament matches, most of the runners actually take this save.
Yeah, that save is very common in like marathon settings or race settings or whatever, but in quote-unquote proper runs, you do save time by not saving. A tiny bit.
Yeah, proper runs of any % no memory corruption need to be single segment anyway, so
yeah.
Because we go by in-game time. So yeah, you don't save. Okay, good. So this section, oh boy. This is fun. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
in my heart.
Nice meme,
I was
dude.
like, why would you do that?
I couldn't resist showing off the 0% threats.
Yeah, that's like the quote-unquote real final boss of 0 and 1%.
He's not kidding. That tank is deceptively hard to dodge, because you don't have too much headroom to make the jump over it. So
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna.
Oh, that was very fast.
I'm gonna take a little bit of focus time here. Nah.
So yeah, you can hit this boss off screen for his first attack. And if you do it well enough.
Oh, that didn't want as well. Oh. Yeah, my hands are a little bit sweaty. Nope.
Oh, that was good. Oh, come on.
4 rounds.
You're getting very bad
Unlucky.
RNG here.
Okay, good. Volleyball. Oh. Playing volleyball is hard. Nope. Annoying. Okay. Oh, double.
What? Nice.
You can time that, but it's tricky. It's tricky to time that opening double.
You were almost out of missiles.
But I have
Perfect.
exactly enough.
Planned.
I had exactly enough. I don't know what you're talking about.
You even got the extra missile tango.
Yeah, my volleyball segment didn't went that well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the power was down, but we've restored auxiliary power.
Which is nice.
So we can now actually save once again. Not that we're gonna save,
Yeah,
but
not that we will use it anytime soon.
nah. We're just gonna go do some nice space jumping. Dodging those bugs, because they're really, they hit like a truck.
Oh, are you gonna show off the funny thing when you just like grab the ledge and before you?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not
Oh.
gonna show off
But that's-
the peculiarities of the AI. It almost went wrong for Kirby back then as well. I remember.
I mean, if you grab the ledge down there.
No.
Nah, we're just gonna play it safe.
Nothing happens then, and it's really funny.
Yeah, if you grab the ledge there, the SAX will keep jumping over you, back and forth.
Instead of just shooting down or something.
With the English version, you can actually use an out-of-bounds clip to save a few seconds here by clipping through. But because the Japanese version was actually released later than the English version, that's not something you encounter often in video games. At least not for the older games. Anytime soon? Yes. Okay, having 50 missiles here is nice. So,
This boss is pretty easy. You just shoot him a bunch of times and
Yeah,
he
and-
dies.
well,
This boss is like pretty much the reason we pick up almost all of the missiles. It's just a giant damage sponge. Oh, nice.
Wow, that was wow.
whoops. My bad. Okay. Ah.
Yeah.
Space jump is a little bit iffy in this game. What? How did that
Okay, yeah, that was kind of weird.
Okay, I'm terrible at doubles on this boss, even though they're supposed to be easy.
Are they? No.
I have heard rumors that they are easy, but
Who says that?
I don't agree.
I
That might just be me being bad.
I quote.
Well, then me either. Like,
I quote JRP, I believe, which may not be the best reference for easy. He had the world record for the world records for a good amount of time in this game.
oh, by the way, we maybe quickly want to talk about what we just got, the plasma beam,
Yeah.
which are like the green things that we shoot now. So what the plasma beam does is when you hit an enemy, the beam just travels through the enemy,
and through
like,
the
keeps
other
on
enemies, and through the other enemies actually.
but for some reason it stops at walls because that makes sense.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, enemies are squishy, walls are hard.
Yeah, but then you have the wave beam, which is like does the exact opposite. It goes through walls, but not through enemies.
It's kind of like radioactivity. It gets stopped by concrete.
That's actually a good analogy.
Interestingly, so plasma beam does damage per frame it's inside an enemy.
Yes.
But the boss coming up only takes one hit from the plasma beam. It negates it on the first hit,
Yeah, the hitbox is only a pixel wide or something, right?
which means it actually does less damage than white beam
Yeah, that's sad.
because it does do less damage.
If only you could turn off beams,
Oh yeah,
that would have saved a lot.
that would
of
actually
time.
have saved a lot. It would have done do like double damage on Nightmare.
Yeah. So this next bit is gonna be
Pretty hype.
Hopefully I'll get.
You'll get it. I believe in you, my dude.
Space boost.
No, I'm not
No.
gonna do the space boost. I'm not ball smart, please.
Never-ending disappointment.
Wow.
No. No, I'm kidding. The shine spark is is difficult enough.
Yeah,
Nice, good job.
easy. Look at this. This is so cool.
Glorious.
This is glorious.
It's not too hard.
It is. You have. If you shoot a little bit too early, then you get a so-called jump extend, and then you can run out of time. So it's not exactly free. You can also get hit by the enemies in that room. So there is a bit of setup involved. Nice pattern.
I
like
can see
about it.
Plasma Hair just shredding enemies.
Yeah, and the nice thing is because the charge beam charges through doors, you can let go of it during the door transition. It fires and instantly kills that Aqua Pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're heading over to our next boss. Oh, hey, a red door, so we're almost there.
So let's see. That's 100%.
Wow. Taunts.
Yeah, you remember when I said like the thing in the background where I said don't worry about it? Turns out it's this thing, so you kind of have to worry about it.
That's what you maybe should have worried about.
But you don't really have to worry about it because it's kind of easy.
I mean, this boss is kind of like the bane of casual runners or runners. Like when you play the game casual, this boss is
Beginners
incredibly
Beginners
difficult.
struggle with this because for this phase there is no RNG. So if you move the same way, you get the same results. But manipulating Nightmare is tough.
He moves very erratically, and it's hard to like make him move the way you want to. But
They should work.
That works, I
enough.
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
That was close, but it worked.
Yeah.
You can clap.
Thank you, thank you. So let's see. Nope, no double here. Getting the doubles with the ice missiles is whew,
Oh,
tricky.
yeah, it's getting hard now. Yeah, doubles get
was
progressively harder
close.
as the game goes on.
Oh, come on.
I was slightly too early. Well,
And now we're finally getting rid of this god-awful suit called the Varia suit.
Aw.
And we're finally
We're getting-
having a good-looking suit.
I like the
getting grape
gravity suit.
suits.
I like the gravity suit.
I like the grape suit.
Yeah, this looks pretty nice.
So opening the door first.
Yeah.
Very important.
That's such a mean move by the developers to just make you have to, like, you can't just do it in one shoot.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's really stupid. Whoa, that was on the edge.
Whoa.
You got the spark.
Little bit of excitement here. Even exciting for me. So let's see if I can get this. Nah.
No.
Yeah, so this part of the game is where the game has its only intended sequence break, quote unquote, where you can take a different path up.
It's not a sequence break since you still are forced to go back.
Well, yeah, it's like, but you can take a different path out, and that would, in theory, let you skip the next upgrade. But once you get to the navigation room, Adam is just like, haha, very funny, go get the item. It's like,
It's like, hey, good job, buddy.
hey, good job, now go actually
Yeah,
get the
please
item.
now go back and do this like we intended it.
Yeah, it's very tongue-in-cheek.
In the English version, you can do. There's another way of doing it, since the enemies are positioned in a way you can curve a missile to freeze one of them. They fixed that in the Japanese version, actually.
They just removed an enemy, right? Or
They-
removed a tunnel.
They moved the enemy and removed the tunnel, I
Yeah.
believe. So that's the only big difference layout-wise between the two. Yeah, this section is deceptively dangerous. You think like, oh, Nightmare is difficult and all that jazz. Enemies in this segment deal quite a bit of damage, and before you know it, you're down to your last tank and you're dying.
Well, don't get hit forehead.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, that enemy tends to get in your way there. And here we're gonna do a little bit of a space boost.
Oh yeah. Alright, you're not 100%. That's actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same.
I was like, oh no, that's bad. Oh no, in 100%,
Yes.
you really wanna keep.
I don't want that missile tank in
Yeah,
this
you
category.
you wanna grab those items.
I was
Grabbing-
like, wait, that's not how you do it.
In 100%, you would actually go for a Shine Spark setup since you want to keep the.
You want a power bomb tank, yeah.
Yeah. So the fusion missiles, which is not as useful really.
This is the
Well,
most
not in the
useless
speed
upgrade.
run.
I mean, it's barely useful casually. It's just
Yeah,
such
that's
a
true, yeah.
pointless upgrade.
If anything, it's more like a gimmick.
It looks cool. Like when you get it, you're just oh, that's pretty cool, and then you never use it because it's not useful.
And your timing on core axes got even worse.
They do a tiny bit more damage than ice missiles,
Yeah.
but they also fire a tiny bit slower than ice missiles. So this is the hardest missile to get doubles with.
I mean, it's luckily we only have to apply that on a single boss.
Yeah. I mean, two.
Two, technically?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Doing doubles on one of them is like really, really exceptionally hard.
You're gonna see me attempting it on only one of the core axes. Though this run is going reasonably fine, actually.
Yeah.
So, Sector 6. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, Sector 6. Entering the sector is not as dangerous anymore. But the boss we're about to fight has claimed many a runner.
Oh yeah, it's a scary boss.
Did it?
Well, mostly the second phase.
Oh.
Not the full space boost. Really, puffers?
Enemies still do a lot of damage.
Yeah, luckily, I get a bit of a refill.
Yeah.
Oh, give me that.
Hello? Okay. Nice.
Give me that. That's one. And there's the rest.
Or maybe not.
I mean, this is fine. All things considered.
Famous last words.
I hope it's fine. Yeah, this is annoying.
Puffers, man.
Yeah, those puff. Wow.
They're just always in the
Are
way.
you doing this on purpose?
I'm not doing this on purpose. Okay. For a second, I thought that was a little bit too far to the right.
It was. It almost was.
By the way, no entry without authorization. So I
Yeah.
guess we'll get ourselves some authorization.
Basically, it's the game's badge check.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
Wow, that was pretty good.
That was a good fight.
That went well. So this is the part that's dangerous.
And like it is technically possible to get doubles on this Corex, but it's pretty much TAS only.
I'm not going for it.
No, has any human runner ever done it? Like,
Not sure.
I don't.
Somebody has probably done it at some point, but
I mean, TAS can do it, but it's
People have
insanely tight.
People have attempted it. So now we got the wave beam. So now we can shoot through concrete. And those buffers are no more.
yeah, we now have the combination, the combined power of wave and plasma, which our beam now goes through pretty much everything and does a lot of damage to anything.
So this is a Metroid game, right? Well, let's see if we can find some Metroids. Where are they? Well, here they are.
All the Metroids.
All the Metroids in the house. Boop, boop, boop.
If you ever wondered what a Metroid looks like, it's this.
That's.
if you ever wonder what we look like in Super Metroid, well,
Oh no!
Whoa!
Oh, you got a line up. Nice.
yeah. If you jump through the door, they line up. It's a thing I always do for shenanigans. Nah.
I still kind of wonder why
Yeet.
that happened.
Oh, okay. Still under 10 seconds, so not a complete disgrace. Yeah, that thing was blocking that ledge like it was guarding its life.
I like it's like when you do that casually, it's so stressful. You're like, oh, you only have 1 minute, but it's just a single room to get up. It's like nothing.
It's really not.
Yeah, when you play this first, you're like, oh shit, I only have 1 minute.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? And then you enter like 15 seconds later. That was it.
No, but like then you try to space jump up, and all the Metroids keep bumping into you, and it's terrible.
Yeah, those Metroids really are random in placements and movements. It's terrible. It can be terrible to get through them at times.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was guarding the ledge really well, actually. I'm surprised I got it under 10 seconds still.
Glorious gravity suit.
Yeah, it's looking much better.
Spooky music, by the way.
So, one of the uses of diffusion missiles, I guess.
Kinda.
Typical strats, just roll through the acid. I forgot to charge.
And this is like the actual use of diffusion, where those are 3 missile blocks. But the diffusion wave does destroy missile blocks, so you can get all of them with 1 missile.
So, the Golden Pirates.
Oh yeah, gold pirates. So you're supposed to shoot gold pirates in the back, like that was the intent. The way the game checked this programmatically is just if Samus and the pirate is facing the same direction. So you can shoot a beam and then turn around, and that just hits them from the front.
So, are you all comfy wearing headsets? I am.
Oh, nice door.
Still got it.
This guy is loud.
By the way, can we get some baby rages in chat for this boss?
Ow.
The GBA is actually struggling to keep this game running smoothly with this how big this boss is.
And Wave Beam does a lot of damage to Ridley because of how big his hitbox is.
I was kind of hoping to get it damageless, but I got 1 hit.
Depending on like the angle and like of your shot, it can do up to like 10 times the damage of a single missile.
Nice. Oh.
So yeah, so diffusion makes doubles harder, but actually charging the missile doesn't affect the timing at all. So it's safe to do that. It doesn't affect anything.
So
That was a pretty good fight.
Oh, oh.
No!
Oh, so close.
dang it! Yeah, we make it a challenge to get through this room without killing any enemies.
Yeah.
I was almost there.
You're really close.
Doesn't waste or save any time,
Not
any considerable time.
And
like as
yeah,
long as
that
you
was
don't turn around.
yeah, that was quote unquote the last boss before like the official last boss.
Bosses.
Boss success. So there's like 2 more bosses to go, and we're done.
We hope.
Yeah, right here, this is the part where you would have like a major route deviation between 100% and any percent.
Yeah, 100% goes right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% starts going back through all the sectors to grab everything we skipped.
Yeah, and there's actually a screw attack block, like tunnel between the connecting the sectors, so
So you don't have to take the elevators everywhere.
I shot cancel to get myself a platform to boost off of from. But yeah.
Shout out to this room, by the way, who has 3 missile upgrades,
missile tanks,
or like missile tanks for whatever reason.
Yeah, they were kind of lazy with that room. if you ask me.
I mean, you can grab all 3 of the missile tanks at different points in the game, but like, who goes back to previous sectors?
Revisits, yeah. So here I don't want the speed boost since, well, we have a wall of text and interrupts you where you have to get up on the navigation room platform again. So you don't want to have a shine spark charge, because otherwise you might accidentally spark away from it.
Yeah.
Lots of game lore.
This is like the longest cutscene in the game.
And this is where the Japanese version...
Yeah, it's so nice to have.
Wow, that was way faster. I'm not used to seeing the Japanese version.
In English, it takes so much longer.
Yes.
It's really obnoxious, really.
In
Because they gave the Japanese version a lot of upgrades. Additional difficulty levels, faster scrolling. It actually has an easy and hard mode in the Japanese version.
More ending screen things as well.
Which you can get in the English version in Zero Mission if you link Fusion with it, I believe.
But that's quite the effort.
Yeah, it's a considerable amount of effort. I agree.
Who has a link cable these days anymore?
I actually have one, but
Well,
but I'm an old school kid, kinda. So walls of text are done. Let's get to the final part. Oh yeah.
kinda.
Get the triumphant music.
Yeah, it really sounds well.
Yeah, we finally collected enough upgrades so we can kick the ass of the SAX.
Yeah,
we have like 7%.
it's a shame actually that right after right when you encounter the SEX right after fighting Yakuza, you're just one upgrade away from being in a considerable good position with the plasma beam.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay.
Little shortcut here, by the way, which you can only use at the end of the game.
Thanks to screw attack.
Thanks, screw attack.
Screw attack is nice.
My favorite ability in every Metroid game, or like any Metroid game.
Yeah, Zero Mission 100%, because in any percent we don't pick up screw attack. It's also really nice, and due to the way the game is designed, we can pick it up really early. But you saw me fire diagonal shots on Ridley. I'm gonna attempt the same thing at this next boss.
That's a bit more tight, but he will be fine.
I hope. Okay.
So diagonal shots do more damage here because the shot spends more time inside as the SX hitbox.
Okay, cool.
That was still good. Was that a 5 shot?
That was really good. That's way harder than it looks.
And again,
Okay,
shooting a beam straight up there.
Works. Okay, cool. I never get any double, so we're just gonna show you how it's easily done. This is the G strats. You can do that with a lot of the beam cores, actually.
I think almost all. No.
Aside,
Well, all of them have a platform, which is like half.
aside from wave beam, of course.
You can't do it on plasma either.
Yeah, but you can do. You can definitely do it at white beam.
Yeah.
So just to clear, Tech, get ready on time. By the way, he's not listening.
Hey, tech guy!
We gave him a bit of a scare
Time
there.
is coming up soon.
It's gotta come up in about 1.5 minutes. Well, a little bit less, I guess. This can get to be a sub 120. That would be really nice. Don't mind me firing missiles.
Super good music, by the way. This is quite the banger. I think this is my favorite track of Fusion.
It's a really exciting part to have an escape sequence. Luckily, most Metroid games actually have an escape sequence. So, oh,
Oh, that's not.
I didn't get the spin jump.
Yeah.
Spin jumping while having a shine spark like stored is way harder than it should be. Oh hey, our ship is gone. What's this? Who's this guy? What is happening?
I failed miserably at Pogo in practice, so I'm not gonna attempt that.
Yeah, no, it's dangerous. You can do a weird trick here with where the Omega Metro starts jumping like an idiot, but it's dangerous because he does so much damage. If you screw it up, you almost die.
What you're seeing here, by the way, is a so-called Omega Metroid. It's actually its name.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get the ice beam, and after the ice beam, it turns out this is really easy. And hey,
hell
we
yeah!
win.
Good job. You need to stand in a pretty specific spot to get that, and then mash at a with a good rhythm to get back.
Yeah, time is coming up in just a second.
So this is
and time.
Woo! Sub 120.
Sub
I like
120, nice, dude.
Good run, dude.
Yeah, definitely not a PB, but
I mean, it's sub 120.
It's decent.
Yeah.
Who does PBs at a marathon? That's like.
Yeah, that has only happened to me once. But yeah, Metroid Fusion in a nutshell. any percent. So yeah, the ship got moved. The question is, who moved the ship?
Who moved the ship?
So I want to end this run. I want to end this run and commentary on one of the most adorable pigs ever.
Oh.
That is correct, yeah.
So yeah, in Super Metroid you can save or kill the animals. In this game we definitely save them, and it considers that we also save them in Super Metroids. Canonically.
Saving the animals is canon.
Yeah, it's actually
You
canon.
have
Yes,
to save them.
save the animals, everybody. Please.
But in this game something else happens, because the animals actually save you.
Yes.
It's like karma.
It is karma.
It is karma.
So yeah, save the animals. God damn it.
Yeah. We eradicated the space station and the planets, but we saved the animals.
But the animals saved us, so it's fine.
Can we get an aw in chat?
Aww.
Aww, look at them. They're so cute.
Yeah. So, on this note, I think we're gonna end commentary. No need to see the ending screen. Oh.
Do we?
Do you care about the in-game time?
Well, it's only 2 minutes more. Is Tech alright with seeing the in-game time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Shout out to Tech Guy being awesome, by the way.
Yeah, the man's doing a great job on this stream, really.
So we can talk a tiny bit about the category of 100% no memory corruption.
Yes.
Or like the community shoutouts and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, the community.
So
This game has a big history.
yeah, it's an old. People have been running this game for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me. I've speedrun this game since 2013, I think.
I still have a official run on task videos that's from 2007.
Ooh.
It's funny, I used to speedrun. I used to speedrun this game before I even knew what a speedrun actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Metro games do that too, just by having a timer at the end, right?
Yeah, that's true.
percentage, timer. So the original definitions for any percent, low percent, and 100%. Well, the Metroid speedruns are one of the oldest brand of speedruns. A lot of people have speedrun Metroid since the early days, like with Metroid Prime, for example. Yeah. And any percent, low percent, and 100% are categories that were, in a way,
standard.
defined by the Metroid games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's your good to know. The more you know.
But yeah, so this game also has like a memory corruption glitch that skips like 2/3 of the game. I think it's 2/3.
50. It's a third. You skip.
A third of the game? Oh, a third of the game.
Yeah.
I got that inverted.
Scotty showed that at the marathon. Was
Yeah,
it
the GDQ.
SGQ
The
or
last
AGDQ?
GDQ, I think.
Yeah.
AGDQ, I believe.
So this is pretty much like the old 90% before we found the memory corruption glitch.
Yeah.
Any percent, no MC.
Yeah, the new any percent can be sub 1, right?
It is around the 50-minute mark, actually.
Yeah. I never tried it.
It's specific in
Yeah,
setup.
I saw runs of it, but I just never tried myself.
So yeah, chilling out in the space sun. And a
51. That's solid.
Hey, you beat my any percent PB with this. I think.
It's only in-game time wise, it's only a minute behind my PB, so
Oh
Good
really?
job.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
it's not that bad.
Nice.
By the way, Craigasm for Samus is a girl. By the way.
What?
Who?
No.
What?
If you die, you also find out. In
Oh
this
yeah,
game.
that's true.
Who dies?
I
I
did.
never did when I played.
Imagine dying in Fusion. What?
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this run, and I want to thank you all for watching. I want to give a shout out to the GBA Troid communities, both of them, because Zero Mission and Fusion are awesome, and the runners are awesome. Really a big shout out to the two guys next to me who helped me with commentary. You guys are bros. Thank you very much.
No problem, my dude.
So with this, we're gonna throw it over, I guess.
See you later, guys.
See you later.